Hi, welcome to Jerry Builds Things. Today, I make bike repair unnecessarily complex by playing with fire. Stay tuned. Okay, today's project is putting my commuter bike back together. But there's one problem. There is a tool that I need to tighten this thing, and I don't have it. I haven't even gotten there yet. I still need to take this apart. Then when I go to put it back together after I grease the bearings or clean them out, grease the bearings, put it back together, I need to tighten this. And you could use a welding glove or like a heavy rag like that or something and grab onto it. But they make a tool called a chain whip, and it looks like a wrench with two sections of chain on it, and the chain grabs onto the sprocket. In this case, you use it to tighten the, they call this cluster of sprockets here a cassette. On some other higher end bikes, I guess you use the chain whip to hold the cassette in place, and you use the tool, the socket, this thing right here, or whatever configuration your bicycle is. When you go to try to loosen this thing, the cassette just rolls with it. So you have to use the chain whip to hold it in place, loosen the lock ring, gets it out of there, and then you can do the work. I don't have that tool. The tool's nice, don't get me wrong. I like buying good quality tools, and I like using the right tool for the job. I realized I could make the tool. So I figured I'd give it a shot, and I can make use of the plasma table, which is over here collecting dust, aside from when I make signs and things like that. So I'm going to get to it, and first thing I need to do is to select some kind of wrench handle or something that's similar to the tool that I have in my mind that I want to use. I have a few wrenches in here that I could copy the profile of. This wrench is a pretty good profile for the handle. And one more thing, I get it, my wrench drawer is insane. I have 2 or 3 different types of wrenches in here, brand names and stuff, so kind of hard to find a set of wrench organizers that everything fits. So if anybody out there has a recommendation on wrench organizers that would work well in this space, let me know in the comments. Thanks. Alright, I'm going to start out by creating a sketch. So 1 inch 100, 7 inches, that's where I'm going to start. The sprocket where I want the chain whip to grip, I'm just going to call it 3 inch 250. Alright, so it's going to be about close. Let me move that guy back in just a little bit. I think that'll be a good basis. I just run it past, and then I'll trim it off. I just realized I made the outside diameter the 3 inch 250 diameter, and I want that to be the inside. So I'm going to change that up. Guess we could just go back in time here and undo all this. I want this diameter to be the inside. Maybe I can just free move this. All right, I'm going to go with that. Then I could come down a little bit on the sides there. Let's get rid of that one. 3 inch 250 plus 2.2 would be the total diameter increase. 5 inch 450. All right. Now I don't think I need the radius to go any further than right here. So I think that's going to look good. Soften that a little bit. Soften that a little bit. Same thing here. I don't think it'll let me soften that. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's nice. Built in. I gave it that radius and it ditched the rest of that stuff in there. All right, so I have the basic tool outline here. So there's going to be a little section of chain that gets attached here, and then the next section of chain, the actual whip part of it, will get pinned in probably here. And for the little section of chain that I put in here, I'm going to make a little notch out. I'm going to make the cutout a little longer. Let's come out to there. And let's extend. Oh, and one more thing. I want to do something like that. I should be ready to burn this out then. So the next step is going to be posted out. Let's go to manufacture. So I'll just have to look up speed and amperage chart. All right, I'm going to shoot that out to the fire control. Yeah, looks good to me. All right, I'm going to set the plasma table up to start cutting this thing now. I already hit this piece of steel that I'm going to use with a sanding disc to take off most of the rust. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but it helps keep some of the crap out of here and your consumables last a little longer. All right, I picked up my zeros. Just have to add a little bit of water. Make sure I got the valve closed, which I don't. That would have sucked. All right, this is going to be a good real world test to see if my camera doesn't get burned out with the arc from the plasma. I've looked it up online. I find conflicting results. Some people say it'll burn out the sensor. Some people say it won't. It works just fine. I see plenty of videos out there of plasma cutting without a filter over the camera, so I'm guessing that it might work out fine. Looks good to me. Just got a little bit of sharp edge rolled over from this, so I'm just going to soften that up. Seems good to me. So the next operation was going to be to measure the distance that I needed between the holes that I was going to put in here. And then I realized this piece of steel that I used is too thick for the profile of the chain. So I need to either cut a new one or thin out the steel right here and then right here where the chain is going to attach. And I'm going to thin the steel. So let's do that next. Okay, so I need to modify the tool to fit the chain. I'll mill a radius here. The width of the chain on the inside is about 170 thousandths would fit it, and the thickness of the steel is 290. So roughly speaking, that comes out to 60 thousandths per side, and I want it on center. So I'm going to mill one side, I'm going to flip the tool over, and then mill the other. To start with, I'm going to add another circle here, since it follows pretty nicely there. I'll do that. I'll trim this crap off of here, and then taking from the tangent on this circle here, I'll go straight off the edge, and then I'll do the same thing down here to straighten it out, and trim that crap, trim that, trim that, and trim that. And I'm just giving myself a line to follow when I mill this. I'm just going to call my zero front right. Call that front right. Alright, flip it around and do the other side. I have elected to drill and tap holes for the chain where it's going to attach here instead of pressing a pin through, because on my little pin vise that I use to press in and out pins on bike chain, it doesn't fit, and I don't want to have to take one of those pins and mess with it on the big press over there. So I'm just going to drill and tap. I'm going to use a 440 screw in 3 points. Should be plenty strong enough, and that should work just fine. So I'm going to reset this up the way I had it before and drill and tap. Alright, let's tap this thing and be done with this part of it. Tap. Slather that thing up good. Yeah, just making sure I'm not going to run it into the jack screw. That would be bad news. Beautiful. Look at that. Form tapping, no chips. Just have to be tighter on your control of your hole size. Have to have a good close tolerance hole. Okie dokie. 440 go and no-go gauge, just to make sure that I have created the correct thread profile and I'm not oversized. Go goes. The no-go does not. We're good. Alright. Now that I got that business taken care of, I'm going to deburr this, clean it up. Alright, so I'm just going to take a section of this old chain, kind of estimate the length. That's going to be plenty. I'll probably end up taking some off of there. I'll probably separate it right here. This is a tool that I bought. I am not going to make one of these because this company, I'm not affiliated with them, but Park Tool, for those that know, these tools they're awesome. Well worth the money to spend a couple of extra bucks and get a good chain vise. It's a good investment. So I'm going to push the pin out there, take a section of this chain off. I love you. I am not kidding. I love using this tool because it works so well. All right, so that end is going to fit right in there like that. Let me go grab a 440 screw. I would prefer to put a washer on here first, but those I know I don't have. All right, let me grab that little section of chain. And a proper Allen wrench set would help also. Bonus points if I actually have the Allen wrench in the holder. Don't need to really make these too tight. And I would say this tool should work just fine now. I know I left this crazy long. Alright, let me flip the bike around and I'll see if this actually works. Alright, so anyway, I didn't need to flip the bike around since what I'm trying to tighten is not on the bike, it's on the wheel. I'm trying to think about too many things at once here. Alright, so I'm going to pretend that I'm trying to tighten this. And I'll see if this actually works now. And then that follows around right there. I mean, I'm putting some I'm putting some juice on it, so I say the tool works. I'm happy. Now the only other thing that I want to do is do some plastic dip on the handle so that it has some kind of grip. So if for some reason I need to do 100 bikes like this, which is not going to happen, at least it'll be an easier time doing so. So, all right, let's get the plastic dip out. All right, this is my first time doing plastic dip. Surface must be clean and dry. For best results, avoid direct sunlight, high humidity, or breezy conditions, none of which exist in here. Stir gently and thoroughly before each use. Attach wire or string to hang item. Insert item 1 inch every 5 seconds. Withdraw at the same rate. Allow 30 minutes minimum between coats. Apply as many coats as desired. Allow 4 hours minimum of dry time before use. So when I'm painting things and I need to hang something, I love using this baling wire. I've had this roll of baling wire for 20 years, at least. It wasn't a whole lot bigger than this. It was probably started out like that. I don't even know where I got it. Home Depot or Menards maybe? I don't know. Anyway. Alright, the baling wire just fits through that tapped hole. And I'm going to bend it so that it hangs right there. Get a piece of cardboard to put underneath it to catch the drips. Or a piece of wood since that's closer at hand. Clean it off with some brake parts cleaner. Yeah, a little bit of dirt. Alright, we should be good to go there. Alright, screwdriver will work. Most challenging part of this is going to be timing how fast I start dipping it in there, since it says at a rate of 1 inch every 5 seconds. So I'm literally just going to have to count off. Judging by how thick this stuff is, I don't think I'm going to need it, or need to dip it very many times. Maybe twice. I don't know. We'll see. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a little thinner than what it is. I don't know. That's probably good as far as how much I need to stir it. All right. Here we go. First dip. Alright, there's the first dip. I feel like I went a little too fast. I think it'll come out good though. Okay, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one that it's been 30 minutes. It's actually been 32 minutes. 33 minutes. So we're ready for another dip. I'm not going to stir that again because it's so thick that I don't think it had enough time to even partially separate. So I'm going to look at this thing. I don't know, it's got a decent coating. So maybe, yeah, I'm going to do at least one more dip. One more might be enough. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to keep it slower this time. All right, and that's probably going to be enough. I think I'll have that be the final coat. If later on it starts tearing because it's too thin, then I learned my lesson and I know from now on more than 2. But I don't know, I think it's going to turn out okay. So let's let the magic of TV fast forward this again, and I'll see you in 30 minutes. It's been a few hours now. The plastic dip should have cured by now. Yeah, it's good. So the handle is, I like that. I don't know how long it'll last. I mean, like I said, this is the first time I've ever used plastic dip. I know people use it all the time and it works really good. I don't know, I've never come across something where I could have, come to think of it, there's been a couple of tools I've had before where the cover on a handle got all messed up and I could have used it. Anyway, that's it. I think it came out good. I mean, it works. It's a little over the top. I've seen cheaper tools out there and stuff, but I kind of wanted to build something decent, and this sure the heck is strong enough. I've noticed on some of the higher end ones, they advertise that they're heat treated. And man, I don't know, like, you'd have to use it for 1,000 years, I think, before the hardness of the actual metal is gonna really matter. Because this is like, it's probably like 836 or something, and I mean, it's plenty strong. It's plenty strong. Yeah, and the only other thing that I'm probably gonna touch up is I just happen to have these 440 screws, these socket head cap screws. To keep a lower profile, I'll probably find like button heads and put those in there, and then either I'll grind them down, or see, you can see from the profile they're a little longer than they stick out. So probably just buy new button heads that are closer in length anyway. And then maybe to keep them from backing out, maybe I'll hit them with a center punch on this backside to kind of swedge them out, so that if they want to back out, they kind of stop. But that's all I can think of. There you have it. There's a chain whip. Took a little longer than necessary, I suppose, but hey, what the heck. Life's short. Build a tool. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for this project. I'm going to consider it done. And I was going to use that tool to tighten up that cassette tonight and finish this bike and have it all ready for the morning. But while I was waiting for the Plastidip to fully cure, I was taking apart the one-way clutch in the cassette because it was all gritty. It had a bunch of dirt and crap, and my hand slipped and all the ball bearings fell on the floor. They're 1/8 inch ball bearings, and there's 60 of them, I think, total there's supposed to be in this hub. So finding all those ball bearings is currently my next project, but I'm not going to make a video and bore you all to death with that. Anyway, if you thought this project was cool, give me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching Jerry Builds Things. Later.